Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Brandy YT and welcome back to another crypto video. So today we're going to be doing another update on Bitcoin and Ethereum again, basically just to top up basically what I spoke about in yesterday's video. So unfortunately it looks like Bitcoin has been rejected by the neckline and we're now coming back down to support, but it's not to say that we can't break the neckline still. Hopefully we can do, but obviously as you can see we are getting some selling pressure here. So let's start on the 45-minute chart. What's happening here? So it does, no, this is the 4-hour chart. Let's head to the 45-minute chart. Let's look on this. So basically it looks like we are in a bearish flag pattern on the 45-minute chart. We are still very close to the neckline. So as long as we break out of this bearish flag, retest this resistance here and hopefully break through to retest the neckline, then we can still possibly break through this triple bottom pattern that we are currently in for Bitcoin. We do know that obviously Ethereum has broken through it, which I'm very pleased about, because obviously I did predict that on about like the 8th of July I think it was. So let's look at what's happening with Bitcoin right now. So obviously we are in the bearish flag pattern here. So let's just draw these lines for you here. So obviously we need to break through the top of this bearish flag pattern here, obviously to break towards the upside to retest this resistance level here of $21,400. But if we do break to the downside, let's just check the downside potential here. So the downside potential would mean that we'll be breaking through this support level here of $20,700 and potentially coming back down to support of $20,100. But if we do break towards the upside potential would be this green candle here, which would then mean that we should be coming up to retest this resistance level here of $21,400, which is obviously what we do want to do. But as you can see, we are sort of bouncing around between these two lines here. We are sort of in a bullish flag pattern here within a bearish flag pattern. So if we do measure that, let's sort of zoom in a little bit closer so we can see what's happening. So basically, as you can see, kind of in a bullish flag pattern here. So we still obviously, this is the top of our flag, this is the bottom of our flag, and the upside potential would be this green candle here, which would then basically mean that we should be coming up to retest the resistance level. It's basically about the same level really if we break out the bearish flag pattern. So we're in a bullish flag pattern within a bearish flag pattern. Obviously the downside potential would be the same. It would be this red candle here, so it would be this one here, so obviously it would just be a tiny bit higher, so it could mean that we would still probably break through this support level here and potentially get back down to around $20,400. Which is obviously what we don't want to do, but it looks like it's what's about to happen. We are getting some selling pressure now, so we could be coming back down to retest around $20,400 and then probably come back down to support of $20,100, which would then mean that the triple bottom pattern is no longer. So yeah, that's sort of it on the 45-minute chart. If we head to the hourly, as you can see, we are still in this bearish flag pattern here, and the upside potential is still the same, and the downside potential is still the same. Obviously, it's not a bullish flag pattern on the hourly chart, so we'll get rid of this one here. So it's still basically a bearish flag pattern here, and we haven't obviously broken to the downside of that yet. But obviously, if we do break to the downside of the 45-minute chart, as you can see here, it looks like we're breaking through the bullish flag pattern, but we still are in the bearish flag pattern, so we probably won't get any downside movement until we break down towards the downside from the bearish flag pattern. If we head towards the hourly again, as you can see, we're still looking a bit bearish on the RSI and also the MACD, and you can see some selling pressure starting to happen. If we head towards the 4-hourly chart, so as you can see here, we are still kind of in a bearish flag pattern here. So the downside potential will be the same. Let's just move these lines. There we go. So downside potential would be this red candle here. So yeah, it would still be the same. So to be honest, we need to see what's going to happen really. It does look like we are going to get some downside movement. It looks like we are going to get some selling pressure. We may be creating what we did here. So we came up, retested, came down, came up, retested, came down, came up. This is basically us retesting, so we could be actually coming back down to these levels here of $19,000, but obviously we'll see what happens in the meantime. If we obviously break through this bearish flag pattern here, then we should be coming back down to basically retest $20,400 and potentially come back down to around $20,100 for Bitcoin. So that's it on the 4-hourly. Obviously we have ticked bearish here, which is basically the start of the day. So around the morning time we got rejected, which is where we ticked bearish here on the RSI, and now we are starting to get some selling pressure. And as you can see here on the MACD, you can see the first red candle here for the start of the selling pressure basically. So we could be doing what we did back here, start selling off, come back down to 19,000. So it is still a potential thing that can happen. So we could potentially be coming all the way back down to $19,000. But in the meantime, we'll just have to keep on checking the patterns that we can see and see if there is any chance that we can rebound from one of these support levels at some point. So let's head towards the daily. Obviously on the daily, we are getting rejected from this neckline. So it does look like we are getting rejected, and we're not going to be breaking through this neckline at this moment in time, which is a shame because Ethereum has done it. So I expected Bitcoin to do it by sort of today or by tomorrow morning. But obviously it looks like it's not really going to happen at this moment in time. And as you can also see, we are decreasing in volume as well on the MACD. And obviously we are heading towards the downside on the RSI, so we could eventually tick bearish on the RSI if we do get some more selling pressure, which would then mean basically once we tick bearish on the daily, we'll get some more selling pressure, come back down to support here or 20,100, try and retest that. If we do break through that, then we'll be coming down even further and potentially in the end come down to around $19,000. So Bitcoin's not looking too great at this moment in time. Let's just check the 45 minutes to see what's happening here again. Yeah, so we are still in this bearish flag pattern, so we'll see what happens with this, but it does look like we are coming back down to retest around this area here of $20,800. If we do break through that, we're coming all the way back down to around $20,400. It's just the way it works. Obviously it can turn, and we can obviously come back down and retest this level here, come back up, and then we can tick bullish, but in the meantime we're looking a bit bearish. Let's head over to Ethereum. If we look at Ethereum, Ethereum has done amazingly well. So as you can see here, here's the triple bottom pattern here, and I predicted around here that we would be creating, so we'll be going from the double bottom pattern to a triple bottom pattern, and it did happen. We did create it, so we obviously got rejected up here, came all the way back down here, bounced back up, broke the neckline, and then came up to around $1,420. I did predict that we should be coming up to around 1,500, and we still can. So it just obviously depends on what happens here. If we tick bullish here, then we should be coming up to around that level. But let's zoom in on the 45-minute chart. So as you can see here on the 45-minute, we are in a bullish flag pattern. So as you can see, this is the top of the flag, this is the bottom of the flag. Lines look a bit wonky, but hey ho. So this is the upside potential here. If we do break up towards the upside potential would be $1,370. Downside potential would be basically would be coming back down to support and possibly breaking through. Yeah, there we go. So if we do obviously break towards the downside of this bullish flag pattern that we are currently in on the 45-minute chart, that would mean that we'd be coming back down to retest support of $1,285 and potentially breaking all the way back through to around $1,270. And then once we do this, we'll try and find support back down here of around $1,200. Obviously we don't want that to happen, but Ethereum is looking quite strong at this moment in time. So hopefully we do break towards the upside and get up to around that level of $1,370. We could still be in a big bullish flag pattern potentially if we move these levels here. So let's get rid of these. If we get rid of these and then we basically extend this bullish flag pattern here, it could be a potential. It does look like it's a bullish flag pattern still, kind of. It does look about right, to be honest. So it does look like it could be one big bullish flag pattern here. Obviously we tried to break out but failed, came back in, tried to break out, failed, come back in, created a bullish flag, broke towards the downside, obviously come back down here. But it could be a big bullish flag. So don't sleep on it. It could be quite a good opportunity. So let's just measure this green candle here to make sure it's the right size. So this is on the 45-minute, so obviously we'll make this a bit bigger. So if we do break towards the upside of this bullish flag pattern here, the upside potential could be still around 1,500. So it's around $1,530. if we obviously break towards the upside. At this moment in time, we're in a bullish flag pattern within this big bullish flag pattern here. So Ethereum could be looking quite good, but obviously there is still potential for downside potential. Obviously the RSI is not ticking bullish just yet. The MACD, we are still obviously getting some selling pressure as well. And yes, obviously the downside potential would be if we do break below this, then we'll be coming back down to support here of $1,285. So let's just redraw this bullish flag in here so we can obviously see what's happening. Then I will leave it in there for tomorrow's video, and then we'll come back to this in tomorrow's video as well. So this is the smaller bullish flag pattern here, and the upside potential for that would basically mean that we'll be retesting the top of this big bullish flag pattern here and potentially breaking through. The downside potential would mean that we'll be breaking through this big bullish flag pattern and then potentially breaking all the way through and breaking through the support here and coming down to around $1,260. So I will leave this in here, and then we'll come back to this tomorrow and see what's obviously happened with Ethereum. Make sure you go and check out my Twitter as well. My Twitter's in my YouTube banner, basically. It's the same, it's Crypto Bradley YT. And on my Twitter as well, my logos and stuff should all be exactly the same. Make sure you're following the right one. My YouTube link is also in my Twitter as well, so obviously you can just click that just to make sure it takes you to my page and make sure it's all still legit. But just head over there. I do post updates as well of Ethereum and Bitcoin and XRP. I do try and post as much as I can throughout the day, but obviously I do still work as well, so I try and find time for work. Well, obviously I find time for work because I'm working, but I also try and find time throughout the day to try and post, mainly during my lunchtime and things like that. If we head towards the hourly chart, it's still sort of the same kind of thing, but the bullish flag pattern's kind of up here, and the upside potential could be, no, it's a bit smaller. So it means that we'll still be coming up to retest the top of this bullish flag, and the downside potential would be the same as this red candle here. So it's all the same kind of thing. We just need to see what's going to happen, but obviously we are just trading sideways at this moment in time, but hopefully we do eventually sort of try and tick bullish and head towards the upside. But it does look like we could be forming a inverse head and shoulders here, potentially. If we do obviously head back down towards the downside, then start coming back up, that means that we have created a inverse head and shoulders. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So this is the left shoulder here, this is the head here, and then once we sort of, if we do come back down a little bit again up to the same level as here and create this right shoulder in this bullish flag, then we could be coming up, breaking through this and coming up to around $1,530. So could be kind of bullish, to be honest. If we do obviously get some more selling pressure, create a new candle here, create this right shoulder, obviously that's quite a bullish thing. So obviously that would mean the upside potential from this. If you find an inverse head and shoulders like this, you then go to the nearest break towards the upside, so the nearest big green candle, which would be this one here, which would then mean if we obviously break towards the upside here, we would then be breaking out of this bullish flag pattern here as well. So I will leave this all in here, and we'll come back to this tomorrow and see if I'm right and see if I predicted it right as well. Obviously it can still go wrong, we can get some selling pressure, we can obviously stop the pattern from happening, but this is just me trying to predict what's happening, because obviously it looks like we've created the left shoulder and the head, and we could be forming the right shoulder for continuation towards the upside, which would mean that if we do break through this and through this bullish flag pattern, we could be coming up to around $1,370, breaking through this big bullish flag pattern, and then potentially breaking up to around $1,530. Obviously there's a lot going on. There's like 3 patterns or 2 patterns within one big pattern, so there's a lot going on, but hopefully I'm right and hopefully we see what's happening tomorrow, because it will all change by tomorrow. As you can see here, we are in this bullish flag pattern still, so yeah, we're obviously just trading sideways, so it looks like it is a confirmed sort of bullish flag pattern. So it's all looking quite groovy. We still may tick bullish, may tick bearish on the RSI, but we'll see what's happening. We're not ticking bullish yet on the MACD here. As you can see, the buying volumes decreased as well, so we still might be getting some more selling pressure and come back down. But we'll see what's happening. Hopefully the patterns that I've seen in the hourly chart do play out, and obviously we do break towards the upside. That's what I'd like to see. Let's just very quickly check the daily. If we check the daily, we are in one big bullish flag pattern, but obviously we'll move the candle up there. Obviously, if we do break towards the upside, it would be this big candle here. So if we very quickly check this, which will be that there, if we break towards the upside, that would mean that we could be coming all the way up to around $1,600. I mean, it could happen. If we do break towards the downside potential would be this red candle here. I need to hurry up. So it would be this big red candle here, which would basically mean that we'll break down to the same level here of around $1,258. So we could be downside potential $1,258, upside potential could potentially be $1,600 if you break through this daily bullish flag pattern. I'm going to end it right here. Hopefully Ethereum does break towards the upside. I'm hoping it should be around tomorrow or during the course of this new week, basically next week, and we'll see what happens. See what happens basically. So we'll come back to this in tomorrow's video. We'll see what's happening, see if it's still bullish, and yeah, see what's going on. Make sure you subscribe. That'd be very good. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers, so we'll see what's happening with that. And slap a like on it, and make sure you go and follow my Twitter. And I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Peace.